Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And a very good evening to you all. Hisham Kissy. Hello, Hisham. How are you tonight? Or whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. This is your official place to talk about DC live action. Ronnie Dodge. Hello, boss. Hello, Ronnie. How are you tonight? Excited, no doubt. The legend CJ. I saw the Batman last night, and wow indeed. What did you think, the legend CJ? Jot down your thoughts. I don't want any spoilers. I don't want anyone spoiling anything. Just because we've seen it doesn't mean other people have seen it. Let's be respectful, but tell me what you think. Leo's Legos, Wagwan. John, hello, my friend. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Yes, the Batman is certainly dividing opinion. Ronnie Dodge, I'm good. Less than 48 hours ago. 48 hours to go. Ryan Price, I have Batman booked for Friday and Saturday night. Cannot wait. 2 nights in a row. That is awesome, my friend. Enjoy. You're going to need to watch it twice anyway. Hisham Kissy, my screening is tomorrow. I can't wait. I want all of you to let me know what you think of the movie once you've seen it. Villiger, I'm seeing the Batman tomorrow. Awesome. Let me know what you think. This is a huge movie if you're a DC fan, if you're a Batman stan. Just wonderful. I love the Pattinson stans. I love the Matt Reeves stans. I love the Batman stans because you're so passionate. You don't talk about what you hate. You talk about what you love, which is great. You don't like something, don't talk about it. Although I talk about stuff I don't like, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite. But I suppose that's my job, really, isn't it? Ronnie George, have you seen the Batgirl pictures of Firefly costume with Barbara's chasing him? Haven't seen her chasing him. I have seen him standing on top of a car. The outfit was a bit odd. I don't know if that was a stunt outfit. Yes, Batgirl is going to be a sensational movie. These guys who directed Bad Boys for Life, wow, what a couple of directors they are. It's all happening this year, everyone. And you can feel the anger and frustration of the DC haters. The Legend CJ, it was a masterpiece. It is indeed. This is the Batman from the comics. Yup. Riddler felt like Michael Myers. Jim and Batman's partnership was amazing. The chemistry between Selina and Batman was great. A 5 out of 5 movie indeed. Thank you for your thoughts, The Legend CJ. Yes, we have been waiting for so long. So, you know, it's great for people to get to see it, isn't it? Ryan Price, would you say this is your favourite Batman movie, or how is it compared to The Dark Knight? Be good if you could elaborate your answer. How does Joker's performance compare to Riddler? Oh, yeah, well, we'll talk about that. Hashmin and me, three main thing about the Batman for me is horror detective story and world building. Ronnie Dodge, I just rewatched Bad Boys for Life. So good. It is. Now, it really is uncomparable when you're asking me to compare the Joker to the Riddler. The Joker is such a different character. He's a bit of a lighter villain, the Joker, isn't he? Even though he does dark shit. I mean, this Riddler, as someone just said, comparing him to Michael Myers, he's absolutely frightening. So he's uncomparable. I suppose you want me to tell you which character I prefer. I can't really say I prefer one over the other, but the Riddler is effectively frightening. This dude is messed up. Ashley me, oh yeah, I almost forgot about the score. It's 9 out of 10 for the first movie. Awesome. John, I wonder how much screen time Michael Keaton will get in Batgirl. It's interesting. I think he will have a substantial screen time in the Flash movie. I expect him to be there a lot in Batgirl. The Legend CJ, now I understand when you said it's hard for you not to talk about this movie, especially for months since you saw it early. This a must-talk movie. Yeah, it's difficult. You know, this is why I've been put off recently of maybe not going to see any more test screenings before, because it's difficult. Because you get people asking you questions about it. I understand why people want to know, but it's difficult. Isham edits, the Joker was scary. I don't know. I didn't find Ledger's Joker that scary. I mean, he's scary when he's doing the knife on the face, on the mouth and all that. I understand what you're saying, but he didn't frighten me to my core or anything. But he's a fucked up dude, isn't he? But the Riddler, I mean, this is I mean, it's not really the Riddler really that we know, but wow. It's interesting that he chose to do the Riddler and he chose to do him like this. Because there are other characters who are genuinely scary in the comics he could have used, but I think he wanted to use the elements of the riddles. And I think that's why he chose Riddler. Amazing, there's some people giving this film a rotten score, saying it's too long, too dark. But as I say, these people should preface their opinions by saying, I don't like complicated, dark, long movies. But that shouldn't be a critique of the movie. It's too dark, it's too long. No, be a proper fucking critic. Speak about the content. Chris Stuckman's review, though, was beautiful. He loved it. Can't wait for his spoiler review, by the way. I'd love to get Chris on this show. Impossible, but I'd love to do it. Ben Pottimer, Isaac, please no spoilers. I think Isaac is talking about the Dark Knight Joker, my friend. The Legend CJ, there's no end credit scene, just a riddle at the end, but nothing big. Yeah, that's all there is, yeah. Hisham Kissy, without spoiling anything, what's your only criticism? Nitpick. Oh, I'm not a really good nitpicker. I'm going to have to think about that. Ben Pottimeyer, okay, cool. My nitpick is with Alfred, and I don't want to talk about him because it's a spoiler. So, but if I had a nitpick, it would be the representation of Alfred. Ben Pottimeyer, okay, cool. Yeah, basically, I was asked, Ben, to compare the Joker in the Dark Knight to the Riddler. They're uncomparable. John, have you seen the trailer for Brad Pitt's new movie, Bullet Train? Yes. Sony are on a roll, aren't they? Spider-Man No Way Home. Uncharted, right? And now this. That is the number one studio for me right now. Have you noticed how much MCU news Fakes tried to squirt out to try and take attention away from the Batman? Kevin's son, you're wasting your time. Ronnie Dodger, I heard the Batmobile chase is one of the best scenes in a CBM. It is awesome. I still prefer the Batmobile chase in BVS. I still think that's so beautiful, but it's fucking amazing. The one in the Batman is sensational. But I still think Snyder still nails it. But it's an amazing car chase. And when I say that, it's the intensity of what Batman and Oz are doing in that chase. It's the determination. It's that they're kind of competing in a way. The Legend CJ, no spoilers at all, but that one scene towards the end, is it the character we think it is? Well, I want to talk about that on my spoiler review because I'm not so sure. Batman the Night, I will watch the movie now. Ronnie Dodge, does it give you Terminator vibes? What's that? The car chase? No. You'll have to elaborate on that, Ronnie. Hisham Kissy, I really hope that Batman is endlessly rewatchable. As much as I liked The Dark Knight Rises, it's not as rewatchable as the other films. The Dark Knight Rises is an interesting film with great themes. I actually think it's a great movie, and the only reason some people don't like it is because it's not The Dark Knight. Well, duh. I think all three Nolan films are fantastic, but I do think The Dark Knight is somewhat overrated. It overshadows Batman Begins, which I think is a better movie, but that's just my opinion. But Nolan made a great trilogy. John, they are moving Marvel Netflix shows to Disney Plus. It's so funny that all these MCU shows are getting excited. What difference does it make? What difference does it? Please tell me, because they're getting excited that all these shows are going to make brand new seasons. Let me be clear. The guy who did Daredevil season 1 won't be involved. It will never be the same. It won't be hard R. It's going to be shit over there. Villager Barry Kay was at the premiere, so he must be playing someone. Well, obviously. Listen, for me, it wasn't definitive who he was playing. That's kind of a spoiler, isn't it? So it could be, it might not be. Isabel makes edits. No, Isaac makes edits. He's playing a cop. I don't know. I can't tell you. But I'm not. I don't actually. I'm being honest. I don't know. The Legend CJ, I've been seeing the dumb criticism on the Batman, saying Batman should be happy, and the movie is too hard and complicated. A lot of them are Marvel fans. Listen, people are allowed not to like something and have opinions about it. That's fine. But you should preface what you're saying by saying, I don't like complicated movies, right? I prefer chips at night rather than caviar, you know? John, Zack Snyder was at the Batman premiere. Yeah, he's good friends with Matt Reeves. Matt, so supportive of the Snyder Cut. Congratulated him. They really are good mates. So, you know, there's no issues between them. You know, all my fellow Snyder fans should never go at Matt. Matt's a gentleman. And I love Zack Snyder. I do like Zack Snyder. Sometimes I say, you know, some of the propaganda merchant stuff, yeah. But I love Zack and I love his DC stuff. Let's not get it twisted. Ronnie Dodge, I totally forgot Jay, who plays Tim Drake in Titans, is in this movie. Ryan Price, Nolan's films are great. I think Bruce Wayne overshadows Batman himself, i.e. more screen time. I hear this is more of a Batman on screen than this is what we needed. Is this is what we needed? Yeah, I mean, obviously, in the reviews, they have said, let's cut the crap. You've read all the reviews. They've said there's more Batman than Bruce Wayne, which is true. To me, right, I love Bruce Wayne. We've seen lots of Bruce Wayne in other movies. This man wanted to show more Batman. But he's still Bruce Wayne at times in the costume. He seeps out. It's a very kind of Jekyll and Hyde thing. And I think that's what Matt was aiming for. Hisham Cassie, are the riddles challenging? I didn't get them, so they're very challenging. Ronnie Dodge, the people who say it's too dark probably haven't ever read a Batman comic. This was a classic today, Ronnie. Paul Cherie saying that it's more of a detective movie than a Batman movie. And I put it to him, and he didn't like it, that a detective movie is a Batman movie. Villager, people can have their opinions, but it's too dark, comes off as childish. I agree. Like, do these people want Disney movies only? Sounds like it. Yes, Villager, that's what they want, unfortunately. So why they're watching a hard, you know, a near hard R movie, I have no idea. Android 118 XX, Dark Knight Rises was a great movie. I feel that is the place the story needed to evolve and go, because it was the last movie. It's a great trilogy. The problem with The Dark Knight Rises is that Chris planned for Heath to be in the movie. So he was kind of left cold with just Bane, but he didn't know what else he didn't have enough time. And they also kind of had a lot of writer's blocks while doing it. It's a very famous story of David Goyer, while having a writer's block on The Dark Knight Rises, came up with the idea for Man of Steel. The Legend CJ, do you think Dick Grayson exists in this new universe? I would imagine so. Whether we'll ever see him, that's another case in point. Ronnie Dodge, does it set up who the villains are for the next movie? It does set up a lot, yes. Ryan Price, what is your best line in the movie? Ronnie Dodge, what the hell, Batman is the world's greatest detective, so what is he smoking? Yeah, it's a shame, actually. I've always liked Paul Cherie, but I had to mute him and unfollow him in the end because he started slaughtering fans. So, you know, typical SJW critic, you know, thinks he's superior, wasn't interested in the end. And when he started calling the Riddler an incel, that was it for me, because he was saying that the Riddler wasn't very smart. Well, hang on a minute. Does an incel write, you know, complicated, intelligent riddles like he does? Ronnie Dodge, Jim Lee was there yesterday, so probably going to see him at every premiere. Oh, yeah, I mean, he's the main man at the moment. Let's see what Zaslav does. It's a very strange situation this year. Not only have we got all this DC content, we've got a merger, you know, which will make Warner Discovery the biggest company in entertainment. So that's intriguing, and that's a shadow looming over all of this. John, Bruce Campbell is going to be in Doctor Strange 2. Yeah, he's in everything, Raimi, isn't he? Apparently, he might be playing a character that we know, according to him. So he's obviously recurring one of the roles from Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. He was great. He's a great actor. Android 180XX. I saw on Variety that Zack Snyder's Justice League was the fourth most streamed movie of 2021. Another good sign. Well, I told you, like, if you've been following me since the Snyder Cut was released, that I'd seen the figures for the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, and I told you they were huge. And this comes as no surprise. It's a huge movie. It's a great movie. And let me just get onto this kind of Oscars fan thing and how it's not allowed to be voted for. They're claiming it's a re-edited movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League isn't a re-edit. For it to be a re-edit, he would have had to gone to Justice League, re-edit that movie, and give us, you know, it's not a re-edit. His film was only edited, not re-edited. So it's bullshit. Android, oh no, I've already read that. Duh. My name's Mick. What's your problem? The legend CJ, since this is Batman in the beginning stages, what do you expect Pattinson's Batman to be in his prime? Well, it's interesting because I saw that Boba Talks was saying this, and I agree with him, that they will probably considerably do a lot of time jumps from one movie to the other. I expect him to become the iconic Batman. I expect him to have the iconic Batmobile. I expect Catwoman to be Catwoman. These things. As we go on, you're going to see them all these characters take on their iconic roles. Hisham Cassie, a critic that I follow, praised the first 2-3 parts of the film, but claimed that the last third part left a sour taste in his mouth. It's interesting because a few of them are saying that. I didn't feel like Chris Stuckman, a critic, I don't know if you know him, was full of praise for the whole movie. So some people love the entire thing. Some people don't. It's weird. It's weird. Ronnie Dodge, hope we get Dick Grayson in Matt's movies in the future, but we're about to get him in Batgirl and his own movie eventually. Yeah. So that may be a sign that Matt's not going to deal with him. So we'll have to wait and see. Not that there's a problem if he does. I don't think maybe the Bat family is Matt's priority. I did think that. I'm not so sure now. John, when do you think we will see the Batman sequel? Well, one of the producers has said that we'll see it in under 5 years. In under 5 years, that's a good sign. But it's going to take time because Matt's a slow worker. Android 118XX. Will the Zack Snyder's Justice League ever be shown in cinema? Because it's a massive miss. This is the movie that you have to watch on the big screen. It was made for it. Personally, if it was me, I'd shove it on general release somewhere. In fact, last year was perfect to shove it on general release because they only had the Suicide Squad. So, but there you go. That's the current, Warner Brothers pictures at the moment. Isaac makes edits. I'm still confused on this whole Discovery thing I keep hearing about. Well, it's pretty simple, really. Discovery have merged with AT&T. Basically, they're going to take over the media company, the entertainment company, and AT&T will go back to cable and wireless. So basically, David Zaslav and Discovery will pretty much run and own Warner Brothers Pictures, and it will be called Warner Discovery, and big changes are a-coming. That company needs gutting. That company needs sorting out. It needs to be competitive. It needs to do better. We all know that. Basically, they've bought Warner Brothers. And the AT&T shareholders will they will have more shares, but I think they're going to sell their shares to Discovery in the end anyway. So this is basically not even a merger. Discovery have bought Warner Brothers Pictures. Warner Brothers, the whole thing. And I think it's a good thing. I think Warner Brothers, I think this is what we've been waiting for. People to own this that really want to take the studio to another level. And for DC fans, that is exciting. Isaac makes edits. So is there still going to be a Matt Reeves DCEU? Yes, Matt Reeves will be untouched. I don't think Zaslav or Discovery will touch him. They want people like him involved. He's not under any threat, but Warner Brothers Pictures and the people who work there, well, the clock is ticking. Ryan Price, how much do we see of Gotham itself? It's a character in the movie. And he shoots it beautifully. Ronnie Dodge, the only people I would keep is Walter Hamada and Jim Lee in this merger, because this movie proves Walter's plan is working for the multiverse. Listen, Walter Hamada is a smart guy, but Walter Hamada needs to talk to the fans. Walter Hamada needs to be on Twitter. That's the only thing. Since the Ray Fisher stuff, he's been hiding a bit. I don't think he was even on last year's Fandom, was he? Which is not good. You know, he needs to be out there. He needs to be. So I don't know if Hamada gets to keep his job, but we will see. I think he's done a good job in the plan. I don't think anyone can give him a pat on the back for Wonder Woman 84 and Birds of Prey, though. But the plan is this year. That's him. That's his baby. He should be judged on this year's films. So, I saw episode 1 of Peacemaker today, right? Really good, apart from the usual Hollywood commentary. And it really is transparent. So fucking blatant. But I really enjoyed it. The first episode is great. It's really original. It's so James Gunn. It's great. But unfortunately, these people just can't help themselves, which is a shame, because I do like James Gunn. Hisham Kessie, what's your favourite Batman logo emblem? Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? I'm just going to say Batflex. Hardip Singh, hello, Mike. Hello, my friend. Isaac makes edits. If Matt Reeves makes a Superman, would they have to recast, or would they use Henry Cavill still? No, they're not going to use Henry Cavill. Different Earth, he would never use Henry Cavill. Someone new. You never know. He may even cast a Superman of colour. Tanashi Coates' Superman may be his Superman. Who knows? Ronnie Dodge, just got to wait and see after Aquaman to see what happens to Walter. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, because in a few weeks' time, Zaslav and Discovery are coming. So I think things will happen very quickly. Android 118XX, Batman is getting really good reviews. There are quite some who are mostly saying that they felt the length of the movie and could have kept a bit shorter. Another is that the third act felt off and detached. Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. I don't agree with that. But as I said yesterday and the day before, they didn't like Wonder Woman's 2017's third act, and I thought it was sensational and finished in the right way. I don't really know what people want. Artisan, I saw the Batman last night, and it was crazy. So much happened. It felt just like an Arkham game. Yeah, exactly. And that's what Batman stands want. So this is really not about the critics. We got the 80 to 89 Rotten Tomatoes score. What is it now, by the way? But, you know, so we don't really have to care about what they say anymore. Ronnie Dodge, my favourite emblem is Keaton. Sorry, he's the GO. He is the GO. Hardip Singh. Batman 89, yellow one, still classic logo. I do like it. I do like it. Do you know what? I like them all. I even like the 66 one. I do prefer, out of all the costumes, it's either out of Battinson's and Batfleck's. I think they're the best costumes, though, in my opinion. John, is the Batman the longest DC movie? No, because of Zack Snyder's Justice League. The Legend CJ, after this trilogy, Pattinson will be the definitive Batman. Isaac makes edits. No Snyder cut is at John. Yeah, exactly. And the Snyder cut certainly doesn't feel like 4 hours, does it? Hisham Kissy, I love the Dark Knight Returns emblem. Yes, awesome, isn't it? Zach is obsessed with the Dark Knight Returns, and he should have done that. He should have done that. Wait a minute. One like. You really hate me, don't you? Fine. If I was Grace Randolph and if I was in a bikini, you'd be smashing that like button, wouldn't you? But no. Or Mama's Geeky. If I was Mama's Geeky, you'd be going, oh, yeah, I wouldn't mind a piece of Mama. You'd be smashing her like button. Isn't it a shame that someone like the Star Wars girl is with the fandom menace? She really is an intelligent YouTuber, you know, but what a shame. She started off with those beautiful videos about The Last Jedi. Screw Grace Randolph, you first. She's a propaganda merchant, lol. Definitely. Isaac makes edits. Does Riddler find out about Batman's identities? Because the trailers before the movies did imply that. The Legend CJ, the Batman feels realistic, but at the same time, it feels very comic book accurate, which I can see future heroes like Superman appear, definitely, yeah. I actually think that Lex Luthor will be in the Batman sequel. Take that to the bank. John, I have not seen Zack Snyder's Justice League yet. Is it worth watching? What? I don't know. It depends what you like, mate. I mean, you do say you're more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan, so you may not appreciate a 4-hour DC movie. I think it's fucking worth it. I'm shocked you haven't watched it yet. Ryan Price, who is the most brutal, violent Batman we have had? Pattinson. It's not even competition, is it? The people who have seen the movie on the chat will tell you that. Unless you've seen it, Ryan. You can tell me that, can't you? Who are you supposed to be? On vengeance. Hardeep Singh, I also watched The Batman. The Batman is now best Batman movie ever. Show on screen for me. I don't know if any CBM can top this story. The script is MVP. Robert Pattinson is my best Batman ever. He's amazing. Rob's always been amazing. Even in the Harry Potter days, even in the Twilight days, he's always been awesome. And the shit I hear about him is nonsense. Hashim Kessie, I would be excited to see Grace in a bikini, but would immediately leave as soon as she opens her mouth. Isaac makes edits. Could Pattinson beat Batfleck in this point in time? What, you mean in a fight? The Legend CJ, I like the fact that criminals fear him and don't know if he's lurking in the shadow or not. Exactly, it's awesome. That's how Batman should be. And Ryan Price, I will tell you on Friday, Lo. So far, I would say Batfleck. Ahmed Hikal, he movies TV man. Let's Flash talk. Let's do it, Ahmed. Talk about the Flash. And I will respond to your conversation. Android 118XX. I realize now that most negative critics for Rotten Tomatoes prefer a fun and light-hearted superhero movie. Otherwise, the Batman retweet score would have been higher than 87. Yeah, 87's pretty solid, though. I'm happy about that. Android 118XX. Mean if you look at Endgame, that is above 90 RT. Yeah, but don't forget, Endgame is the culmination of a whole arc in the MCU. This is just movie number one. And it's probably none of Reeves' Batman movies are ever going to get higher than that because it's not mainstream. And that's fine because he's in his own earth. It doesn't interfere with the mainstream DCEU, which is the beauty of all this. That's what Zack should have got as well. Isaac makes edits. Yeah, in a fight. Well, Isaac, I think that Pattinson is brutal, but Batfleck is always a slimy fucker. I think he'd kill him. Artisan. I don't know if he could beat Batfleck. No, he can't. I don't think he can. They seem about equal. Pattinson would definitely outsmart him. Yes. Pattinson is the most smartest, intelligent Batman we've ever seen. Hardeep Singh. If Bale is 8 out of 10 in The Dark Knight, Pattinson is 15 out of 10 in this movie. I really, Ben Affleck also, but story didn't do justice for Batfleck. Hisham Kissy, message retracted. Ryan Price, message retracted. Don't know what's going on here. There's 8 of you in the chat. Smash a like. You must like me if you're here, surely. The legend CJ, Pattinson is young and showing these skills. Imagine how he will be at the same age of Batfleck. Never think that age gives someone an advantage. Ahmed Hicker. Okay, so after knowing that Hodgson is going to write the screenplay, she's written it for The Flash. If you want to judge the movie, will you put the responsibility on Andy because it's not his script? Well, I will judge the movie that he's directed, but yeah, if the story is a dud, that's not down to Andy because he was brought on to direct the movie. Isaac makes edits. Do you guys see Pattinson beating a Superman like Batfleck did to Zack Snyder's Superman? Well, the only reason Batfleck beat Superman was with the use of kryptonite. Ozzy wouldn't have stood a fucking chance. So if Pattinson has got kryptonite, he's got a chance. Hisham Cassie, as Batman fan, you should really watch a video titled What If Tim Burton Directed Batman Forever? Such an amazing video with Michael Keaton returning as Batman and Robin Williams playing the Riddler. Yeah, I will check that out actually, because that does sound interesting. Villager, you're buffering. I do apologize. There's nothing I can do. Sorry. There should be no reason why I'm buffering actually, because I've got no other devices on. Joshua Elrond, watching the Batman, I could next describe the experience as the sloppiest, best blowjob ever. Awesome experience, man. Android 18, it's Android 100, no, Android 118 XX. Batflex will obviously beat Pattinson because Pattinson is more of a realistic take, and Batfleck isn't. Batfleck isn't a normal human. Artisan, but do not get it twisted. Pattinson is more durable than Batfleck. Android 118 XX. You're not buffering, actually. Oh, good. Isaac makes edits at Android 118 XX, but Pattinson isn't a normal human either. Ahmed Hiccup, but how effective the role of Andy is going to be like, can he direct a bad script and turn it into a good movie? And did it happen before? Well, probably. I think you could say it Chapter 2 wasn't as good as it Chapter 1. And yeah, I think he tried his best with that one as well. Listen, I don't think Hodgson should have written that film. I'm astounded. And that is a flaw of Walter Hamada using her. Certainly after he saw what happened with Birds of Prey. But maybe Birds of Prey isn't the issue, isn't with the script. It was Margot Robbie was the real problem with Birds of Prey because she was running the whole thing with her production company. They let her do what she wanted. She brought in the wrong director. She made the wrong, she did the wrong things. So maybe that isn't really a Christina Hodson problem. So I'm willing to give her a pass. Let's see what she does with this movie. Hardeep Singh, Pattinson is fight like Street Fighter. I can feel every punch he hit. Correct. He knows he's not perfect, so he can't do anything, and he can take hit, which make him very human, very similar to Batman Earth 1. Yes. He is a Rocky Balboa of Batman, isn't he, Pattinson? Robert Pattinson is Batman now. That's a thing now. Be funny if Robert Pattinson becomes the next James Bond as well. Hisham Kissy, my only concern with the Flash film is the editing. I'm not a fan of some of the editing choices in Andy's films. Interesting. Yeah, you know what? I don't really look at films that deeply like that. For me, it's the storytelling. Yeah, I want to see a good-looking film as well, but I want to enjoy the movie. I want to be emotionally involved. It's about the storytelling. And I know editing has a part to play in that, but I've never really noticed an issue for me with his editing. Joshua Elwood, what's your Batman movie ranking? I'm not ready at the moment. I'm not ready to add the Batman in. I haven't decided. Android 118 XX. Pattinson takes a while to beat one dude. Batfleck takes one punch. Hopefully, in the sequels, Pattinson evolves and doesn't need multiple hits to beat one dude. Well, do you know what? He's in a big suit. He's in a protective suit, and I get that. But it's more realistic that he takes him more punches. And in fact, it's quite effective visually to see him keep on punching someone. But that's part of his brutality. He's punching people when they're down as well, don't forget. He doesn't actually have to keep on punching them. That's part of the character's aggression. Isaac makes edits. Do you think we'll be able to see all four Robins from Dick to Damon Wayne? I hope so. That would be something that they'd have to allow to breathe and not rush. Ahmed Hicko, do you like that the cinematography on the Flash movie looks similar to the Titans TV show? Does it? Does it? I don't know about that. I don't think we've seen enough from the Flash movie to make that judgment personally. Ryan Price, what I love about Batman Begins is how they utilize the bats in the movie. Yeah, exactly. That was sick as fuck for me. It was better than Dark Knight explored more. Yeah, Joker was great. But, yeah, it's interesting what Ryan says there. Well, I remember when the bats come to him and I'm thinking, what the fuck? And then you realize that he's kind of got a beat. A sound that draws them to him. But it's genius. It's great. And I totally agree with Ryan there. Ryan Price, I don't think it was better than Begins. No, I don't think The Dark Knight is anywhere near the quality of Batman Begins, personally. But I think Batman Begins is a personal Bruce Wayne story. And I think it works. And it utilizes the talents of Christian Bale a lot more than The Dark Knight does. He doesn't seem present in The Dark Knight. That was part of my problem with it because Bale was amazing. Android 118 XX, do you watch anime? I'm afraid I don't, but I certainly admire it. If so, what are your favorites? Yes, I'm afraid I don't watch anime. What are your favorites? Ahmed Hicka, how do you like them to adapt the Speed Force on the big screen? Your thoughts? Well, I personally like what Snyder did. I think it's cool, but it's very difficult if you do the speed. I mean, if you can't see the Speed Force in full speed. What they do on the TV show, you see flashing lights so you can see he's moving. That's a good idea. But I do like what Zack Snyder did personally. There's different ways of doing it. Isaac makes edits. I feel like Barcelona could beat Man United right now. Ha, ha, ha. Yep. Manchester United are useless and a clusterfuck inside and out. And it's a joke. Ronnie Dodge, all the set pics of Leslie Grace as Barbara Gordon is great casting. Just need to see what Dylan's Dick Grayson will look like. I think you may have to wait until you see the actual movie. Ryan Price, go watch Gaia Anime. Hardeep Singh, if you realize now, the Batman is Warner Brothers gangster movie. Yep. It feels like Blade Runner meets with The Godfather, Seven Zodiac, Saw, and the Long Halloween. The whole vibe, atmosphere. Yeah, definitely horror movie type, innit? But unlike the horror movies of today, it's actually fucking scary. Android 118 XX. Dragon Ball is my most favourite anime. I'm sure you've heard of it. I certainly have. Everyone talks about Dragon Ball. John, Batman Begins is a Batman movie and The Dark Knight is more of a Joker movie. Yeah, it is. That's what I think. I mean, it's not like it's about Joker's personal story. But I just don't feel Bale gets enough face time in the movie. I just didn't feel he was as present as he was in Batman Begins, and I think that's a missed opportunity. But it's certainly a fantastic film. Yes, I prefer the TV show because there is not a lot of slow motion, unlike Snyder, where every scene is slow motion. That's how he does the speed. It doesn't bother me. They only do the flashing light thing in the show because they don't have the budget to do anything else. Villager, Bruce is barely present in The Dark Knight. He seems flat as a character in it. Absolutely, I agree. That was the problem with the film for me. Ryan Price, I hear they are doing a spin-off HBO show about the Gotham Police Force. How, after seeing the Batman, do you see that playing out? Well, I pretty much know the synopsis, so it's basically based in year one, pre the Batman, which is interesting. So I do expect to see Pattinson play a small role there, or maybe Batman will just be on buildings behind the scenes. I don't know. But I think it's focused on Gordon, and I think Gordon has a fight with his inner soul, whether to be corrupt or to be straight, and I think that's part of it. But there is commentary here from Matt Reeves with police in the real world, and it's there. It's about police corruption, no question about that. Hisham Kessie, I loved Michael Caine's performance in Begins. That scene where Bruce says, "You still haven't given up on me," to which Alfred responds, "Never." It's genuine, heartfelt, and always gets to me. Yeah, and this is a great thing about Batman Begins. You know, Alfred is a huge part in the whole trilogy, and I love that. And Caine was sensational. I mean, his accent will drop from cocky to well-spoken, but we'll let him off, right? Isaac makes edits. What role does Jay Icano, who plays Tim Drake in the Titans, have in the Batman? John, what are your thoughts on that Batmobile scene in Batman Begins? Ahmed Hiko, I prefer to use the budget to balance between slow-mo and normal speed motion, but even better than the TV show. Villager, 2024 is too far away for the Batman. Yeah, but you're going to get spin-offs before then. You're going to get a Penguin spin-off, don't forget, one year. You're going to get Gotham PD the other year, so you won't even notice it. And there's going to be more spin-offs on HBO Max. That's the genius of it. You'll never be away from Matt Reeves' Earth 2. You'll just have to wait for the movie. It's awesome. Android 118 XX, but I heard Bruce is barely present in the Batman movie. Yes, look, I'm not going to lie to you. That's true. Hardeep Singh, this is first time a Batman's performance did not overshadow by any of the villains. And don't get wrong, Riddle, Catwoman, Penguin, and Falcone gave amazing performance. They did. The Legend CJ, do you think Pattinson will stay and play Batman for a long time, even after this trilogy? It's interesting, isn't it? Because he's an all-tour kind of actor. He's an artiste, so I'm sure he's going to want to do other stuff afterwards. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Because he's certainly a younger Batman. But by the time he's done, he may think, you know, I've done this now. I mean, this was the thing, like getting someone like Christian Bale. He's not going to want to come back after the trilogy. That's the thing with these types of actors. Isham Cassie, I'm amazed that Joaquin Phoenix wants to do more Joker, but I'm happy because he's never reprised anything in his life. Isham Cassie, should I read the Batman prequel novel prior to seeing the film? Yes, very helpful, very helpful. Android 118 XX, Joe Pesci would make a great Penguin. Probably a bit too old now, but in his prime he would have been interesting. Isaac makes edits. Will Pattinson make cameos in the Penguin show and GCPD show? I believe he will. I believe he will, yeah. wouldn't expect him to be in a lot in it, but I expect him to play a little part. John, the Batman comes to HBO Max in April. It does, yes, a 45-day release window. Unfortunately, most of us don't have fucking HBO Max, but hopefully after it comes off of HBO Max, we'll probably be here for a month. We'll get it and we'll be able to rent it or something. But I'm not happy with the HBO Max situation. You know, people get, you know, as usual, America get everything and the rest of us have to wait. Scott Edwards, what's up? What's up, Scott? Good evening to you. What's up? Wow, 14 viewers. A couple got bored. Scott Edwards, are you excited for the Flash Season 8 return? Yep. It's not my most anticipated thing, though, Scott. I'll be honest. Android 118 XX saw a picture of Zach at the Batman premiere and he looks sad, which I understand because he is in an awkward place. I don't think he looked sad. I thought he looked okay. I don't think if he was sad, he'd show it or anything. So I don't think he looked sad. Not unless you just saw a picture where he looked, you know, wasn't smiling. Hardeep Singh, Pattinson is more interested in doing other movies. I think his next movie is with Parasite director Bong. Mickey 7 is going to be the name of the movie. Yeah, he's going to do other movies. Of course he is. I mean, why shouldn't he? He can do both. You know, there's not a question there. There's enough time in the year for him to do both. So, Villager, speaking of Arrowverse, is there a chance that the multiverse could call for an Arrowverse crossover with the DCEU? Yes, because the DCEU and Arrowverse will be part of the same Earth after Flashpoint. So it's all there and it's all very exciting. Ronnie Dodge, I actually can't wait to see how Ezra's Barry evolves in the Flash movie. Yes, very excited because Ezra is a very talented young actor. Ryan Price, what are your thoughts on Superman and Lois series? Loved it. Hope they do a season 2. Superman and Lois has a season 2 right now airing on the CW. Ryan Price, what are your thoughts on... Oh, no, I've read that. Annika, the Vampy. Hello. Isaac makes edits. Could Pattinson appear on The Flash, even if it's a small, tiny bit? Maybe a short kind of flash of a cameo. You never know. I think it's a possibility, yes. I think anything's possible with this film. Ben Pottimer, no, Pattinson said in an interview he wants to play Batman forever if possible, as long as people want me. That's what he said exactly, which is great. Ronnie Dodge, got to go, mate. See you later. Bye, Ronnie. Android 118 XX. I don't think there should be an Arrowverse. It will be better if the character is part of the Batverse instead. Hisham Kessie, we've seen a ranking of your favourite Batman films. When can we expect to see your favourite CBM films ranking? I have done them on the channel ages ago, but I can do them again. So that I can do something like that to do my entire CBMs. That will be... I won't rank every fucking CBM. I'll probably do a top 20 or something. But you can expect Superman the movie, Wonder Woman 2017, and obviously the Batman and films like that to be very high on the list. Batman Returns, Batman Begins, they're the kind of things I really like. And very few Marvel films will be there. But you can expect Bryan Singer's X-Men and X-Men 2 to be up there, for sure. And Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 to be up there, much higher than any MCU movie. Ikan Cassie, how about your top 10 films of all time? Wow, yeah, I could love to do that. Something I'd have to think about. I mean, the kind of films you can expect in that are JFK, Born on the 4th of July, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Star Wars A New Hope, things like that. I mean, there's others, obviously. The Accused, starring Jodie Foster, which is a sensational film. No Way Out, starring Kevin Costner. There's a lot of, I've been watching films since I was a small boy. Very few would be modern day films in that list, by the way. I don't know if any CBMs would actually get in there. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? They don't make films like they used to, that's for sure, isn't it? When I grew up, they made films to last. The problem is when you're making films and people are saying, oh, yeah, it's a bit like this film and that film. We didn't really get that. We had originality when I was growing up. And that's the problem. I don't think a lot of modern day films are going to last because they rip from everything else because they're creatively bankrupt. I mean, a show like 24 will go on, it will never be forgotten because it's original. Hisham Cassie, yup, I agree. Villager, now they just pump out Marvel movies and people eat them up. They are mediocre as fuck, yes, and they won't be remembered in 20 years. But Batman versus Superman will be. The Legend CJ, do you think if Martin Scorsese watched the Batman, he will see CBM in a different perspective? No, he'll just say he likes the Batman. Android 118 XX, what are your childhood action TV show movies you saw other than DC and Marvel? Oh, The A-Team, Knight Rider, shows like that. Airwolf, Street Hulk, Chips, the Incredible Hulk series was amazing. I know that's the kind of comic book, but they're the kind of things that I grew up on. Then I used to watch sitcoms like, Happy Days. We were very lucky. We only had a few channels when we were kids, but the entertainment was sensational. Dallas, Dynasty, Knots Landing, loved all of that stuff. Hardip Singh, 7 greatest CBM of all time ever made for me. 1, The Batman. 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. 3, The Dark Knight. 4, Logan. 5, Spider. 2, 3, The Dark Knight. 4, Logan. 5, Spider 2. 6, Joker. 7, Superman the movie. Not a bad list, Hardy. Hisham Cassie, Red Letter Media always use the words creatively bankrupt in their reviews. Yeah, because most movies these days are creatively bankrupt. What do you do on Twitter when you see a movie that's not a CBM? You keep on scrolling, don't you? If you hear the next Amazon movie or the next Netflix movie, you keep on scrolling, don't you? Ben Pottimeyer, Airwolf intro was, yeah. I probably liked, I always felt that Airwolf was a Knight Rider ripoff, and mainly I liked Airwolf for the intro. Ryan Price, do you ever time the Batman will become more appreciated by its critics, all the moaning on well, no, because it's a minority of critics complaining about the Batman. Look, some people are not meant to watch long, complicated, dark and intelligent films. And that's not me putting these people down. It's not for them. They should be eating chips and not caviar. It's simple, isn't it? Some people like, a la carte. And some people like a pie and chips, don't they, mate? And that's okay. What you do is you expose yourself with the lack of knowledge about Batman when you talk about length. And saying a detective, more of a detective movie than a Batman movie exposes you, doesn't it? Villager, I really hope that Phoenix's Joker would be in the Batman. It would have made sense. Do you know what? That's what I wanted as well. That's what I wanted. I actually predicted it. But obviously, Matt has his own ideas, his own people. I don't think you can get better than Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I think Joaquin Phoenix is better than Heath Ledger. To be fair to Heath, he didn't have as much time to do his own movie, and Heath is great. I love what Heath did. But I think when I heard, I couldn't believe Joaquin was doing a DC movie. But as soon as I knew he was doing it, I knew it was going to be great. It's Joaquin fucking Phoenix. This is the Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Burt Lancaster of our time. The man is sensational. John, what are your thoughts on the Phone Booth movie? Thank you, John, for asking me. It's one of my favourite films of all time, and pre the Batman, my favourite Colin Farrell performance of all time. It's a sensational movie, and the legend that is Kiefer Sutherland is the voice on the phone, and he's awesome. Ryan Price, the legend CJ, how do you think DC can overtake the consumer market in the future? Well, if their plans work out like this, having a central multiverse strategy that's lighter, having an Earth 2 from Matt Reeves that's slightly darker and more brutaler, having a bit of everything, that's how you steal the market. The MCU are delving into the multiverse, but it's still just one Earth. Do you get it? They're not doing what DC are doing. There's a great opportunity here. Hisham Kessie, what's the scariest film you've ever seen? That's an interesting one. I'm not going to say the Batman, I'm not. Although it is scary in places, but I'm not going to say the Batman. That's interesting. I think, there's so many great horror movies. I always used to get scared by the first Poltergeist as a kid. They really used to make some great horror movies. Ryan Price, thanks to you, I now have season 2 on my TV ready to cast Supes and Lois. Awesome. Good. Android, a really great take on My Hero Superman. Android 118XX. We can probably establish now that the Batman movie isn't a bad movie, and based on majority of people, the movie falls between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, which is more than my minimal success level. It's interesting. I mean, how do you compare the Batman with other Batman films anyway? How do you do that? I mean, it's nothing like those films. It's difficult. Villager, hot take. Heath is only thought of as the best Joker because of nostalgia and because he's dead. His performance was great, but pretty outdated. I don't think the performance is outdated, but I do think the other stuff you said is spot on. Hardeep Singh, who care about critic fans? Also, Batman is a character who's never going to be 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. He's dark, brutal. He's not even a superhero properly. If Batman's Rotten Tomatoes score between 80 to 85, that's a win. Yeah, exactly. But all movies fall eventually anyway. We move on. It's got its fresh score. We move on. As far as I'm concerned, I don't look deeply at critics. I'm interested in their views. I'm interested in everybody's view. But ultimately, most of them are not even passionate about film. Certainly, when you hear them talk, they don't even know about Batman. John, do you think Black Panther 2 is still coming out this year? I don't know. Is it supposed to come out this year? Look, how can you have a Black Panther movie without Black Panther? I think it's a fucking mess. Ben Pottimer, I wish people would stop comparing movies, lol. Yes, because some movies can't be compared. It's like me saying, let me compare David Cronenberg's Dead Ringers starring Jeremy Irons and Jeremy Irons' performance as Alfred. It'd be crazy, right? And Maya Munje, can you say bottle of water, please? Why? Is that going to excite you? We're here to talk about DC live action, my friend. But you're more than welcome to say that to yourself. Villager, which Riddler is better, Jim Carrey or Paul Dano? Listen, Jim Carrey is one of the most talented performers in all time. I mean, even in Sonic, when he's much older now, sensational. I love his Riddler. I love Paul Dano, who is doing a polar opposite thing. You can't say one's better than the other. How can you compare them? Android 118XX. Don't care what anyone says. Heath Ledger was great as Joker. He was. And that has nothing to do with his death. But the overratedness of his Joker is something to do with his death. A little bit, I think. But he's great. He's great. I just think he's somewhat overrated. He was too good and crazy, and it's type of crazy we loved and wanted from Joker. He was great. He was great. Hadi Singh, who's your favourite director of all time? Well, one of them has got to be Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone has educated me with his views. And JFK and Born on the 4th of July are two of my favourite films of all time. So he's one of my favourite directors. Obviously, Spielberg, for what he did with E.T., you know, sensational. I'm not really much of a Jaws fan. Close Encounters, awesome. Richard Donner, who did Lethal Weapon, Superman the movie. There's a George Lucas. People say he's not a good director. I love him as a director. He gave me Star Wars. And Maya Munjay, what do you think about war affecting film industries? You mean the way they're not allowing Russia to watch certain films? Well, listen, they're trying to do anything to affect this guy to not hurt these innocent people. It's not going to work, though. If there's a war, I mean, in the World War II, I mean, you know, Hollywood, you know, war dominated the subject matter there. I don't really have a strong opinion about it. Villager, I know they're not the same Riddler, lol, but sometimes people prefer different iterations of characters. No, I don't. I will never say I prefer one over the other, because Kerry did this brilliant, iconic Riddler that you would expect, very campy and nuts, but I loved him. And what Paul Dano is doing is so compelling, so amazing, so frightening. So they're both brilliant. I don't prefer one over the other, but I do understand. I mean, if, you know, one or other generation where you have to say one's better than the other. Well, I'm not from that generation, and I don't feel that way. Hisham Kashi, I remember being scared shitless by a film called Bad Ronald. Never heard of it. It's about a teenager who lives behind the walls of a house. They did a film called The Boy and stole the plot. Creatively bankrupt. Yes, they always steal other people's ideas. Just like Faye did with Civil War. He stole that, the BVS story. I'm not going to take any denials. Android 118XX, Batman not releasing in Russia, will that affect its box office record? I mean, Russia's a very heavily populated country, but no, it's not going to. Look, China are in, so that's big. Doesn't matter. The Legend CJ, with what's going on out there in the world, we really need a Batman. Yes, we need heroes. The problem is we don't have any heroes. We don't have any heroes. Biden isn't a hero. Boris Johnson isn't a hero. These people, even Keir Starmer, who's the Labour leader, is not a hero. These people are just very rich people telling us what we can and can't do. I hate the system. I'd tear it down if I could. I'll be honest. I don't like it. Anarchy. It's time for anarchy. I'm sorry. I've had enough of these people. Literally, I went to a supermarket the other day and they wouldn't let me in because I hadn't updated my vaccine passport to 3 shots instead of 2. That's the kind of world we're living in. No, I don't support any politician. We need a hero, mate. Ryan Price, there's a lot of bad reviews as they are comparing it with what's going on in the world. I mean, come on, these people should be banned for reviewing movies. I don't think there's many bad reviews, but yeah, you're talking shit. Not you. They're talking shit, aren't they? At the end of the day, and but as I said when I was reading the reviews, these people are nut jobs. They're not all there. It's as simple as that, and they take themselves far too seriously. And SJWs confuse fiction with realism, and that's the problem. Hardeep Singh, Jim Carrey Batman Forever movie. He's goofy and comic accurate. Riddler is like the way Jim Carrey portrayed him in the comic book. And I think Batman Forever is underrated. It is. It's a really good film. And it gets linked in with Batman and Robin too much, doesn't it? Android 118XX. There isn't a lot of bad reviews. Mostly are positive. They are. Villager, that's why we love superhero stories. We wish this world had them. Yes. It's wish fulfillment. So when SJWs try and talk about them in reality, you know, they are fantasy. Maybe one day we will have superheroes. Maybe we'll go that far. Ryan Price, after watching a few trailers of Batman, the movie Crow came to mind. Still love this movie. It's fantastic. The Crow is fantastic. Brandon Lee. I remember seeing that in the movie theatre. What a film. You can't even tell it wasn't him near the end of the movie. John, have you seen the It movie with Tim Curry? I have. Tim is brilliant, and Tim is hilarious as well. He's the best thing about Home Alone 2. A lot of time for Tim Curry. Hisham Cassie, Civil War is a terrible film. It felt like kids fighting over the most idiotic thing. Black Widow decides to switch sides for absolutely no reason and dyes her hair blonde to cater to dab culture. I don't mind Civil War, but it is a rip-off from BVS. But Feig admitted he was worried about BVS. BVS is a great movie as far as I'm concerned. Villager, what's dab culture? I have no idea. I don't even know what leveling fucking up means, let alone that. Kids today, eh, with all these phrases, gaslighting, all that shit. James Gunn actually used that phrase in Peacemaker episode 1. These people, honestly, it's really a hard time to watch entertainment. It really is. If you can get past their SJW kind of commentary, you'll have a good time with any of their stuff. It's there everywhere. It's even there a little bit in the Batman, if I'm honest. Hish Cassie, lol, dabbing is a thing that kids do nowadays. Villager, I like Peacemaker, but the Gen Z words and phrases was cringe at times, and I'm Gen Z. That's another thing. Gen Z, Gen X, you know, boomers, all these. Everyone has to be put in a fucking box these days. You ain't putting me in no fucking box. The Legend CJ, what days do you usually go live? The Legend CJ, I've got my laptop, and as long as it doesn't break, good news, today it was sent out, an adapter, so I can put my HD camera in this awful fucking laptop. Let's hope it works. But I am live every single evening. No point telling you all the time because you all live in different time zones. But I will be here every evening. And if I've got time, I'll do 2 or 3 pre-recorded videos because I'm feeling it right now. But you can catch me live every single evening. Unless I get a life. If I get a life, that will change. Hardeep Singh, I still can't get over the Batman movie, dude. Talk about that Batmobile. I think it is the best introduction of a Batmobile ever. It feels like monster standing another monster side by side. But is it the best Batmobile? I love Pattinson's Batmobile, but it's not the favourite for me. I fucking love the Tumbler. I love Batfleck's Batmobile. I love Keaton's Batmobile. I do like Pattinson's Batmobile, but it's not my favourite one. I'm going to say that. I'll be honest about that. But it's only a prototype. It's only the beginning. He ain't going to be using that for the whole of the trilogy. I'm sure he'll build upon it. The Legend CJ, it's a great beginning Batmobile. Yeah, that's what I tried to explain to people when people were losing their shit about it. I said, this is a story from his beginning to, an arc. I'm not saying his ending, but so we're going to see the iconic Batman. This is just the beginning. This is very exciting. The Legend CJ, it's a great beginning Batmobile. Already read that. My name's Mick. Hishman Cassie, do you collect movie posters? No. I used to have posters when I was younger, but not anymore. I actually think it's kind of funny when I see people reviewing movie posters. I don't get it. I don't get how you can have a bad movie poster. Hardeep Singh, it's my second favourite. First is 89 Batmobile. Not a big Tumblr fan. Oh, I adore the Tumblr. That fucker is just beautiful. Does it come in black? Ryan Price, I love the Tumblr, but the rooftop shit was bollocks. Would fall straight through the damn roof, lol. Yeah, but it's not real, is it, mate? I don't think Pattinson should have the white eyes like the comics. He shows so much emotion with his eyes. Well, as I say, eventually we'll get even more comic book accurate. But yeah, what they did with the eyes was important because you could see him performing with his eyes, and that's why that was designed that way. I mean, I've known Robert Pattinson as a great actor from year dot. I knew he was great in Harry Potter. I knew he was great in Twilight. Twilight wasn't for me, but he was still a good actor. To say he wasn't a good actor in those films just because you don't like those movies means you don't know nothing about acting. Android 118 XX. I'm happy that the Batman movie is getting a lot of love and praise, but it makes me sad as well because I so wish we had a new Superman movie having the same treatment. So frustrating. It will come, Android 118 XX. Zaslav has already said this. He wants to focus on Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So things are going to happen there very, very quickly. He understands because he wants to make money. And Superman done right can make as much money and be as popular as any other superhero. Villager, this Snyder shield on Reddit claimed that Pat wasn't that good of an actor, lol. Well, as I say, doesn't know nothing about acting then, does he? I mean, I'm a Snyder DCEU shield, but I'll never say that or think that, you know. Affleck's a great Batman. Pattinson's a great Batman. Bale's a great Batman. I don't think we've really heard about, I mean, George Clooney, obviously, but it wasn't his fault. It doesn't mean he's a bad actor. Hisham Cassie, every time I see Tommy Lee Jones' performance in Batman Forever, I clench my teeth hard. I actually like it. Tommy Lee Jones is a great actor. He definitely did that for the money, though. The legend CJ, the people I want to watch the Batman with, knew Pattinson as the Twilight Boy. He proved them so wrong. He did. Ryan Price, would you say there is far less CGI in this movie? And a lot of these movies are too over CGI heavy. As great as some of it looks, it can really let a movie down if everything else is on point. But the thing is, Ryan, something like Man of Steel needs lots of CGI. But Snyder is so good with it. There's some films that are not as good. I think there's been complaints about certain MCU films as well. Wonder Woman 84 had terrible CGI. She sacked all of Snyder's VFX. I mean, just proves to see how dumb she is in terms of a filmmaker. Why did she do that? Was she trying to make a point that she's a woman and she didn't need a man's help, for crying out loud? Villager, it's just annoying how loud Snyder Cult can be when every new DC thing comes out. It's exhausting in Twitter. They are like wasps, always quoting tweets of excited DC fans. Yes, I agree with you. But also what I would preface with that is that's not Snyder himself. That's them, I'm afraid. That's the kind of people they are. And they ruin it for themselves because they just get hate. Because they get hate because people don't want to hear you hating on stuff they love. The Legend CJ, what did they film? What city did they film Batman? I don't recognize the city. I think it's Glasgow. Hardeep Singh, Pattinson is the most menacing Batman. Everyone talk about his skinny look before a movie came out and posting fake posts. I think his physique and presence in the movie is everything the Batman need. I agree, Hardeep Singh. Ben Pottimeyer, Rob proved himself in good time. Lighthouse, Lost City of Z before this Batman movie. Yes, but he was still a good actor in Twilight. It's just a lot of us didn't like Twilight, that franchise, but a lot of people did. Ryan Price, possibly Liverpool. Maybe it was a few places. Hisham Kissy, I personally think that Snyder is the greatest straight-to-DVD director because all of his director's cuts are far more superior to his theatrical cuts. Well, his theatrical cuts were enforced on him with BVS. And I mean, he did. Let's be honest here. Justice League isn't his theatrical cut. Let's remember that. Android 118 XX. It will be cool to see Constantine in the DCEU. I would love to see Justice League Dark live adaptation. It's happening. J.J. Abrams is doing it, apparently. We haven't heard much about it, though, have we? I wonder if Zaslav has put the kibosh on some things already. The Legend CJ, do you think general people will get confused about the DC multiverse and get confused? Well, it depends how it's executed. I don't think they'll be confused because I think it will be done in an obvious way. Basically, when you see The Flash, it will be comparable to Marty McFly going back to 1985 and coming back to an alternate 85, which is easy to understand. I think it's going to be done in that way, so it won't be confusing, no. Hisham Cassie, how weird is it that Sylvester Stallone will be directing a film about Edgar Allan Poe? I didn't know that. Interesting. Android 118XX, what do you think of BVS Ultimate Cut? The movie was all right, but still didn't do much for me. Wow, I love it. I love the theatrical cut, but I adore the Ultimate Edition. It's beautiful. I love that film. Android 118XX, I mean, it was good. Android 118XX, but not great. Well, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it, of course. Yes, but I love BVS and I love Man of Steel and I love the Snyder Cut. And I think Snyder isn't for everyone. It's a bit like Marmite. Some people love Marmite, some people don't. But I think, yeah, great take. Can't wait to see more of his DCEU. With Snyder, you know what you're going to get. Seriousness, a beautiful looking movie, epic, gladiatorial kind of movie. I love it. I love it. I mean, people would say most of the MCU movies are better than the Snyderverse, and I wouldn't agree. I find most of the MCU films very underwhelming. So I hope we don't go exactly to that direction because it'll be boring. It's a bit like Shazam. I love Shazam, but it's very MCU, isn't it? The Legend CJ, I want a Superman stand to direct a Superman movie like Reeves did with Batman. Yes, that would be brilliant. Exactly what Superman needs. Hardip Singh, Joe Manganiello changed his profile photo to Deathstroke. That's correct. Picture on IG. Do you think something's cooking or merger with Discovery has something to do? Or may in the Flash movie he appear? I think it's a hint for sure. That's a big statement, isn't it? That's a big thing to do. So I think he is hinting. Vinegar, do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger could return as Mr. Freeze in the Batman sequel? I really want him to. Not a chance. Hisham Kissy, there's a critic who said that Pattinson is very similar to Rorschach from Snyder's Watchmen. No, don't get that. Sorry. Maybe we watched another movie. Effing love Marmite on crumpets, lol. Yeah, lovely. Hardeep Singh, in the Flashpoint comic, Deathstroke is a hero. Yes, that's true. Android 118XX, I like how Zach loves the mythology aspect and incorporate it in his DC movies. Really cool to see, definitely. Ben Pottymoyer, my opinion on BVS, it's art, serious, epic, obscure references, religiousness, elements, and just beautiful shots and compelling story. I love it. They're perfect movies for this time. We have brilliant TVs, brilliant cinema screens, and when you see, he's an artist. The man's an artist. I love him. I love what he does. And Rebel Moon is really going to shake Star Wars fans. Villager, have you watched Supergirl? Do you mean the TV show, the film? What do you mean? Ryan Price, I actually hope Joker doesn't appear in the sequel and focus on a new villain. They'll focus on a new villain, that's Harley Quinn, but the Joker will be involved. Joaquin Phoenix will be involved, and I'm happy about that because, you know, who doesn't want to see Joaquin in a DC movie? Come on, let's. But it's all about opinions, of course, and this is the place for different opinions. They are respected, so it's great for you. I mean, the CW show. I watched the first season and a bit. Mel is great, but the show isn't great, I'm afraid. If you read Supergirl in the comics, you'll know why I was disappointed with that show. But the original Supergirl movie with Helen Slater, I absolutely adore that film. Ryan Price, a new Freeze would be awesome. Yes, he's there. He deserves a big movie treatment. We will see. I prefer Todd Phillips to deal with a Mr. Freeze. That would be interesting. But I mean, Matt has said some positive things about Mr. Freeze, but I don't think he's going to show his hand anyway. But I don't think Matt's films will ever have just one villain in them anyway. You know, what we see in the first film is what we're going to get. We're going to get an evolution of the Rogues Gallery like we are of Batman and that universe. So, Hisham Cassie, as much as I love Hans Zimmer's score in the Dark Knight trilogy, nothing beats Christopher Drake's score in the Dark Knight Returns films. The 80s, this touch is incredible. Yeah, he's definitely a great composer. I must admit, I'm a sucker for Hans Zimmer. Ben Pottimeyer, people can have their opinions on Snyder, but the ones who actually understand his vision have a lot of good Snyder content to look forward to, and the haters will miss out. Yeah, I mean, some people like certain types of food, some people don't, and that's okay, isn't it? But yeah, we've got a lot to look forward to. Villager, do you think the rumor that Lady Gaga could play Harley Quinn in the Joker sequel is true? She has a great actress. Well, she's getting some big roles. I mean, it would be interesting. I mean, look, right now I'm a bit worn down with Margot Robbie as Harley, so I'll definitely take her because it will be very, very different, and she certainly acts like Harley Quinn anyway. So yeah, that would be interesting. It could be true. Who knows? I mean, if you got Joaquin as the Joker and fucking Lady Gaga as Harley, fucking take my money now, right? The legend CJ, how would you retell the Dick Grayson origin in the Batman universe if it happens? Because I don't know if circuses are popular as before. We need something modern. John, I would like to see a dark take on Harley Quinn. So would I. Ben Pottimeyer, Lady Gaga as Quinn is actually cool. Different universe. Yeah. Where are we? So the Dick Grayson story. Listen, just because circuses ain't that relevant, and people still go to circuses, by the way, stick with it. There's nothing wrong with circuses. You can still do it. So I would go that way. Or maybe he could be a theatrical actor. I don't know. So I don't think there's anything wrong with sticking with the circus, though. If Lady Gaga plays Quinn, no one's going to be talking about Margot Robbie ever again. Simple, isn't it? And Margot Robbie's done this to herself. With her, you know, anti-male agenda and her feminism and her Barbie movie that's going to be all feminist and her all-female Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, the woman's gone nuts. Hard deep. Pattinson is nothing like Rorschach in Batman. I know. I think maybe they said because of narrating in the Batman. Yeah, good point. But that's the problem with critic and fan, because Batman narrated in year one comics before. Exactly. And they don't know that. Ryan Price, how do you rank the Batsuit? Ooh. Ben Affleck, Pattinson. Then I'm going to be controversial and say Batman 66. Then Keaton's Batman. I can't remember Val Kilmer's and Clooney's one, to be honest, but that's kind of my ranking. Villager, Phoenix's Joker and Gaga's Harley would be absolutely amazing. Yeah. Listen, I might even do a video about it tomorrow because, yeah, come on. That's the level Phoenix needs. That's someone Phoenix could play with because she's become an elite actress. Hisham Cassie, I was surprised when I learned that David Abranza, lead actor in Angel, was considered for Chris Nolan's Batman. Yeah, that would have been interesting. I think he considered a lot of people, but I think Bale was the best choice. Bale is... Because Bale is got so many issues in his real mind. I think that really helped playing that type of Bruce Wayne. But his performance is great. He's one of the best Bruce Waynes and Batman. I don't care about the voice. He's amazing. I think people go over the top about Christian Bale's voice, but then people these days go over the top about everything, don't they? John, how is John Turturro in the Batman sensational? Because whatever John does, he's always sensational. One of my personal favourites is him in the first Transformers. He's fucking hilarious. But John's great, yeah. Basically, the casting in this film is on another level, isn't it? It's on another planet. Right, guys, I'm going to give you another 5 minutes. It's been another great live stream. I've really enjoyed it. Yet again, the comments and questions have been coming in. It's been really good, considering we don't get many viewers around, the peak is about 14 to 20, about 9 at the moment. So I think we really keep the conversation going. And that's the whole point of a live stream, isn't it? Hardim Singh, Affleck had the best comic accurate Batsuit. I don't think Pattinson had comic accurate Batsuit ever in the trilogy. Well, he hasn't done a trilogy yet, has he? But I am definitely sure he's going to be a Batman Arkham Asylum game suit. Yeah. Hashim Kissy, Bale is the greatest actor of this generation. I literally teared up while watching Ford versus Ferrari. Has really good in that. Yeah, look, Christian Bale has great quality. What a shame he's in the MCU. That does disappoint me. I know that's ridiculous. He can do what he wants, but yeah, bit sad. Then Legend CJ, since you're getting bigger, what are your future plans for the channel? Just don't forget about us. I'm not, I'm really getting big, aren't I? But basically my future plans are, if this camera pans out, hopefully, just to keep on doing content and keep on talking about the stuff that I care about and you care about, and not really changing. I don't think I need to change very much. I just think I need to do what I'm doing. I enjoy it. And people are either going to embrace it or not going to embrace it. The focus will always be DC. I always try and pull in other subject matters, like other pieces of entertainment, but this is what we do on here. John, when are you going to do your spoiler review for the Batman once I see the Batman for a second time? I'm hoping for tomorrow night or the night after. So let's see. I think it's probably a bit early to do a spoiler review, but I think once I've seen it for the second time, once it's fresh in my mind again, I think we've got to go for it, haven't we, really? And I think so many people somehow have already seen the film, which is nuts. Lots of fan screenings, aren't there? I mean, it's nuts how many people have seen it. I think by the weekend, most of the stands would have seen it. And it's good to see the stands really happy with it. Hisham Cassie, Tom Cruise versus Pattinson's Mobile. Who would win in a race? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise can't beat a car, can he? Is that what you meant? How can Tom Cruise versus Pattinson's Batmobile? Who would win in a race? Villager, it's getting hard to dodge spoilers. Everyone is talking about the movie, but this is why I don't talk about spoilers. But people just can't. People are obsessed. Some people actually want spoilers. Hisham Kashi, Tom Cruise can outrun anything on earth. No, he can't. He's not really that fit. It's all pretend. It's all cuts. He's a dweeb, mate. Have you seen little Tom Cruise in Family Guy? I didn't see no credits, but just a goodbye message in Riddler's the Sitter when the movie ends. I would recommend before watching the movie, go to the bathroom. Do you know what? I rarely need to go to the toilet. I didn't need to go to the toilet when I watched the test screening. I mean, I normally don't drink when I'm watching a film. I have some popcorn normally, and that's always a mistake. But yeah, I'm always all right. I'd probably hold it. Because I made that mistake as a little boy. The first film I ever saw in the cinema was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I needed the toilet all the way through the film, and I actually went, and I missed a big bit, which I always regretted. Hisham Cassie, it's a joke after seeing the latest Mission Impossible. I'm starting to think the mission is possible. Yeah. I mean, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. But they're great little movies, aren't they? The Legend CJ, I went to the bathroom in the funeral scene. Everyone left to go at some point. You knew about the funeral scene before you watched the movie, right? No, you can't miss that. You can't miss the funeral scene. Fucking hell. I mean, personally, there's not a bit of the movie. I know some people say, oh, if this bit didn't need to be in it, but that's bullshit. There's not a piece of that movie that I'd want to miss. Villager, low, I guess I'm not getting a Coke then. Well, if you've got a weak bladder, don't drink. I mean, in the old days, we used to get intervals, even with shorter films. I don't know why they don't do 10-minute intervals or half-an-hour intervals. It makes them more money as well at the foyer. So it's a bit of a weird thing that they don't do that. It's so they can squeeze in more screenings, obviously, because movie theatres are not as popular as they used to be. The problem is there's not as many quality films to go and see in movie theatres as there used to be. Right, everyone, a couple more comments, then I'm going to go. I've been talking for 90 minutes, which is great. I've enjoyed it. But we're going to rest up for tomorrow. There'll be a lot more to talk about tomorrow. But it's been great, guys. Couple more comments. Hisham Cassie, how do you think Cary Fukunaga would have done directing a Batman film? He obviously did a great action-packed No Time to Die, but I don't like No Time to Die because the story was shit. The plot had holes in it. Oh, and Mr. Cary Fukunaga was going on about men and toxic masculinity before the movie, so I don't really like him very much. But a great director, so he'd do a great action for Batman, but I don't think he'd make a great all-round movie. He wouldn't give us the movie that Matt Reeves has given us. Hardip Singh, I didn't like first two Mission Impossible. I actually loved them movie, but Tom Cruise made that franchise interesting, and everyone now excited what new stunt Tom Cruise is going to do more than movie. Not me, though. The legend CJ never doubted you, Mick, with you watching the Batman early. Thanks for never spoiling it for us. It was worth it. Exactly. You don't want it spoiling. Just watch it, enjoy it. You know, you don't want movies spoiling. It's especially this one, you know, because that's why we go to see movies. So we can be surprised and, you know, elevated. And if we know what's going to fucking happen, what's the point? Villager, have a good day, Mick. I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm also watching the movie on Friday. Awesome. It's a time to celebrate DC live action. It's been great to be celebrating it with you, to be building up to this year, last year. We knew this year was going to be huge. We've got so much to look forward to. It's like unwrapping a parcel that never gets to the end of the present because we've got so much to look forward to. Hissim Kissy, forgot about No Time to Die. The greatest thing Fukunaga has made is True Detective Season 1. Yeah, I didn't like No Time to Die. The action is great, like in all Daniel Craig Bond films, but the film and what they did in the whole Craig era was ridiculous. And they left the original continuity for nothing. But they left it because Craig didn't want to have anything to do with the original toxic masculinity continuity. But that's because that's the kind of bloke he is, right? This is the guy who says he won't go to straight bars because he hates toxic males. So, sorry, mate, got no time for you. Great Bond. Casino Royale was a chef's kiss. The rest of them, bang average. Skyfall was okay, but it was a rip-off of The Dark Knight as well. What a shame, because I do love James Bond. This has been Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hardip Singh. Bye, Mick. Nice talking to you. And yeah, I liked the video before because I know how tough to talk to people rather than just typing a fucking message. Bye, Mick. Peace out. Peace out, my friend. Thank you for joining in. Like the video. Please all like the video before you go. So, until tomorrow, goodbye. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. See you again tomorrow. Thank you very much. It's been a great evening. I've enjoyed talking to you all. Talking with fellow geeks is like a dream come true. Thank you for joining me. Join me again, same time, same back channel tomorrow. Until then, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. See you later.